Bill Laimbeer committed countless crimes on the basketball court, not the kind that land you in jail, but the kind that make you the most hated player in NBA history. A man who built his career on intimidation, dirty plays, and a win-at-all-costs mentality that made him both reviled and respected. During the Detroit Pistons bad boys era of the late 1980s, no player embodied their brutal style more than Bill Laimbeer. With his 6'11" frame and permanent scowl, he became the villain the NBA loved to hate. But behind the flagrant fouls and theatrical flops was a skilled player who helped lead Detroit to back-to-back championships in 1989 and 1990. Laimbeer's basketball journey wasn't always headed toward infamy. After playing college ball at Notre Dame, he was drafted by the Cleveland Cavaliers in 1979. But it was his trade to Detroit in 1982 that would change NBA history. There, he became a four-time All-Star and led the league in rebounding in 1986. His stats were solid. Career averages of 12.9 points and 9.7 rebounds per game, with an impressive 83.7% free throw percentage for a big man. But numbers don't tell the Laimbeer story. His true impact came through methods that often cross the line between tough and dirty. He doesn't fight, he agitates and then walks away, one coach said of Laimbeer's tactics. This perfectly captured his approach. He wasn't just physical, he was calculating. He knew exactly how to push opponents to their breaking point, then step back and watch the chaos unfold. Laimbeer's toolkit included elbows to the ribs, hip checks, undercutting players in midair, and hard fouls against anyone brave enough to drive into the lane. But perhaps his most infuriating talent was his acting. Despite being one of the league's most physical players, he became notorious for flopping, dramatically falling to draw fouls against opponents who barely touched him. This combination made him uniquely frustrating to play against. As one former player put it, "We hated playing against this guy, not only because he was that unfair and mean, but also because he could play." The fact that Laimbeer was genuinely skilled made his dirty tactics even more aggravating. No discussion of Laimbeer would be complete without mentioning his legendary feuds. His battles with Larry Bird of the Boston Celtics were particularly intense. In a 1987 game, Laimbeer tackled Bird, leading to ejections for both. Years later, Bird didn't mince words, saying Laimbeer just tried to hurt you. When asked what he would say if seated next to Bird, Laimbeer retorted he'd probably go to a different table. But perhaps his most infamous confrontation came with Celtics center Robert Parrish. During the 1987 Eastern Conference Finals, Parrish, normally known for his calm demeanor, finally snapped after enduring Laimbeer's physical play. Parrish delivered what many described as a karate chop that sent Laimbeer crashing to the floor. Most telling about this incident, Laimbeer's own teammates didn't rush to defend him, prompting speculation that they had enough of his antics. Another major brawl erupted in April 1990 between Laimbeer and Charles Barkley of the Philadelphia 76ers. The fight escalated quickly, resulting in multiple ejections and fines totaling $162,500. Laimbeer and Barkley were each fined $20,000 and suspended for one game. Afterward, Barkley famously quipped that he had won the heavyweight boxing titles that night. These weren't isolated incidents. Throughout his career, Laimbeer regularly pushed the boundaries of acceptable play, seemingly taking pride in his ability to get under opponents' skin. He played a key role in the Pistons earning their Bad Boys nickname and embraced being the team's enforcer. Laimbeer's approach wasn't just physical, but deeply psychological. He believed that by imposing a relentlessly physical style, he could wear down adversaries and distract them from winning. The media's embrace of the Bad Boys label further contributed to this psychological advantage, creating an aura of menace that preceded the Pistons' arrival in any arena. This mindset was perfectly displayed following the Pistons' elimination by the Chicago Bulls in the 1991 Eastern Conference Finals. Rather than congratulate their rivals, Laimbeer and several teammates walked off the court before the final buzzer, deliberately snubbing the Bulls. Years later, Laimbeer remained defiant. "They whined and cried for a year and a half about how bad we were for the game. They're just whiners. They won the series. Give them credit. We got old. They got past us." His most telling quote about his playing style came years after retirement. "Why would I regret it now today? I don't care what the media says about me. I never did. I was about winning basketball games and winning championships and did whatever I had to do. At the end of the day, we're called world champions." After hanging up his jersey, Laimbeer brought his controversial approach to coaching in the WNBA. Starting with the Detroit Shock in 2002, he quickly proved his basketball knowledge extended beyond physical intimidation. In his first full season, He orchestrated one of the most remarkable turnarounds in professional sports history, taking the Shock from a 9-23 record to WNBA champions with a league-best 25-9 record. Under his guidance, the Shock won 2 more championships in 2006 and 2008. He later coached the New York Liberty and Las Vegas Aces, becoming the first coach in WNBA history to win at least 50 games with 3 different teams. His career coaching record stands at an impressive 306 and 215, with a .587 winning percentage. But true to form, Laimbeer's coaching career wasn't without controversy. His demanding style sometimes led to friction with players, most notably star forward Swin Cash. By 2008, Cash departed the Shock reportedly due to struggling to build a consistent relationship with Laimbeer. According to one article, by the 2007 WNBA Finals, Cash felt Laimbeer had lost respect for her and was attacking her character. Perhaps his most controversial moment as a coach came in August 2013 when coaching the New York Liberty. After a lopsided loss to the Minnesota Lynx, Laimbeer criticized Lynx star Maya Moore for staying in the game despite the score being out of reach. His post-game comment, "I was a little disappointed they left Maya Moore in the game just to try to get Player of the Week again when the game was out of control. She should get hurt for that," earned him a fine from the WNBA. This statement echoed the provocative tactics that defined his playing career. Wishing injury upon an opposing player crossed a significant professional boundary and was widely condemned. The WNBA's decision to fine him underscored that such behavior wasn't acceptable, even from someone with Laimbeer's reputation. Throughout both his playing and coaching careers, Laimbeer maintained an unapologetic stance about his methods. When asked in a 2021 interview about the impact he'd had on players, his response was blunt. "This is going to sound really strange, but I don't care. I did my job. I don't get emotional about nothing. I don't care about nothing. I care about winning." This win-at-all-costs philosophy defined Laimbeer's approach. He justified the controversial actions of the Bad Boys Pistons by framing them as integral to their success. "We weren't bad people. We were just basketball players winning." Bill Laimbeer's legacy presents a challenging paradox. His methods frequently alienated opponents, fans, and sometimes even his own players. Yet these very methods were linked to high levels of success for himself and his teams. The negative descriptors often used, hated, dirty, mean, arrogant, stand in stark contrast to his impressive list of accomplishments. This contradiction fuels the ongoing debate about his career. Did he win because of these abrasive traits or in spite of them? Were his skill, intellect, and controversial tactics so deeply intertwined that they formed an inseparable, uniquely effective, and perpetually divisive whole? Love him or hate him, Bill Laimbeer forced the basketball world to confront uncomfortable questions about winning, sportsmanship, and the ethical boundaries of competition. In doing so, he carved out a unique place in basketball history as the intelligent, unapologetic villain who not only embraced his contentious image, but leveraged it to achieve mainstream success. As Laimbeer himself might say, at the end of the day, they call him a champion, and that's all he ever cared about.